swear, beware. This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, renegade radio. You know what? It's amazing. This asswipe Eckert's got the police going by checking all the meters. We're out here at 111 South High. They never, and it's not the police officers' fault, but they're having these community service officers check everybody on this block. Why all of a sudden is Kern Street getting all the protection? And I don't blame these police officers. They're just doing their job. But you people, you understand? That's what's wrong in this damn country. The police are out here. I'm here at 111 South High in beautiful downtown Belleville at the palatial estate of Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. What an idiot. Guys, come by. I'll give you an autographed picture of Sweet Cakes in his bikini. I got one of Kern pissing his drawers. Of course, I'm going to be signing it, but that's okay. You'll get an autographed copy. Everybody drive by and look at this house that Kern allegedly lives at 111 South High Street. It's right behind 126 East Washington, which is Pissy Pants God Sprague's office. There is no windows. There is no ingress, no egress. They've got glass blocks, and it just pisses me off, people. He's got family in there. If there's a fire, they burn up. Now, anybody in Belleville, I'd suggest if the ordinance officers come by and give you a citation for any kind of zone violation, ordinance violation, come by 111 South High, and we're going to get with the state fire marshal. They can say whatever they want. They can say that it's grandfathered. It ain't grandfathered. You cannot grandfather a safety. Hey, gentlemen, I use that term loosely. I got two gay guys just drove by. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, let me tell you, drive by, honk, flip me off. I don't give a damn what you do, but come by and see Kern where he allegedly lives at 111 South High Street. He's got millions of dollars, people, not that he earned at his daddy, and won't say anything bad about his mother and father. I'm sure they were hard workers to make all that money, and I want to salute them. This is America. Capitalism is thriving in America. But this asswipe little spoiled brat son of a bitch, his mom and daddy give him $10 million in a trust fund. He's never worked a day in his life. He had the opportunity to go to law school and never practice. That was a waste, not of talent, but a waste of a space that somebody else could have had. But anyway, come by 111 South High, flip me off, wave at us, do whatever you got to do. But the police just left the Belleville. They were code enforcement officers checking every spot. We were fortunate enough to get a spot. Kern's got his cars and trucks all out in front of his house, but we're within throwing distance of some rocks, I guess. But it's got MD building. It's a medical clinic, people. And this asswipe son of a bitch subjects his family to all the dangers in that house. They're all glass blocks. There's no ingress. Thank you, sir. There's no ingress. There's no egress. So anybody in Belleville, anybody in St. Clair County, if you get a housing violation, come by 111 South High Street. Take some pictures. They cannot do this. They tell me, well, he's grandfathered. I say grandfathered my ass. You can't grandfather a hazard, a safety hazard. And why would an asswipe son of a bitch like that want to do that? Why would an asswipe son of a bitch do something like that to upset his family? Hey, sir, thank you very much. Thank you. But that's how these people are. That's how these people are. They don't give a damn about anything but themselves. And I got to say, you guys heard me yesterday, and I'll make it through this today, I think. I put these radio stations, I give them to my son. So when I passed, he would have something like the Kerns did for Mark's Sweet Cakes, and I understand that as a parent. They've been fighting for 4 years saying that I own the station, that the trust isn't my son's, it was mine. And you guys know what a trust is. Somebody puts money in the trust, so when they're gone, their family will have, thank you, sir, will have something. Well, Kern and Sprague been fighting that for 5 years, and it's going nowhere. But then yesterday, I get a call from my FCC attorney in Washington, and I pay good money, but I don't mind, see, because I don't worship money like those son of a bitches. Money's to be spent on proper things, on positive things. They filed a complaint, Sprague and Kern filed a complaint that I did not acknowledge my son's death fast enough at the FCC. And you know what? I still don't want to acknowledge my son's death. But let me tell you, Kern, let me tell you, Sprague, you rotten, no good son of a bitches, you got a fight on your hands, politically and otherwise, if you would like. You got a fight on your hands that ain't going away. You know, it's like a bad case of the clap. No matter how bad you treat it, no matter how long you treat it, it never, ever goes away. And you guys are political whores. You ought to know all about that. But you know what? When your kid's born, you got him in your hands. And then when he dies, you also have him in your hands. And this no good Kern, you rotten piece of crap, I'm yelling out the window for you, you stupid piece of Sprague, where the hell are you at? These no good asswipe son of a bitches, they're going to screw with my son when he's dead. Because they couldn't get me. Now come get me. I'm right in front of your house, you no good rotten scumbag, low-life, bottom-feeding son of a bitch. Come and get me. But let me tell you what, when you do, stay without arm's length, because I'm going to tell you what, any way I go down, Sprague, Barra-Civic, Kern, you rotten son of a bitches are coming with me. You take that and smoke it and then shove it up your ass. You take my word for that. You take my word for that, guys. When I go down politically, you're coming down with me. When I go down socially, you're going down with me, and maybe other ways. Nothing violent, of course. Nothing violent. I don't appreciate violence on any level. But do you people understand? These guys have had this for 40 years, 50 years. They've ruined your families. They've tried to ruin my family. If you don't kiss their ass, if you don't bow down to them, they try to destroy you. Now, I'll tell you, son of a bitches, you're on a thin ice. Keep screwing with my son. Let him rest in peace, you rotten bastards. Come get me. Come get me, you no-good, low-life, scumbag, cockroach-sucking son of a bitches. And I mean that sincerely. I would never do that to somebody's family. I started giving his wife crap when she had me illegally arrested. That, again, cost you people $150,000, 4 years tying up the courts. And we showed them, found not guilty in record time, in less than 5 minutes. They laughed at the Kerns. Sweet Cakes wouldn't even come in the courtroom. He let his son go in there and fabricate a story. Let his wife, the Sasquatch. And she'll be resurfacing here probably in the next day or two. But see, Kern, your family's living. Maybe they can defend themselves. My son's not, but I'll defend him. You no good Eddie. I don't even want to go there right now, but come by 111 South High Street in Belleville. It's right behind Bob Sprague. Got piss in your pants? I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in the urinal, Sprague. See, when you get mad, you shouldn't do a show, because I can barely keep my senses. Well, I don't have much senses, and keep my words straight. But you know, it's unbelievable. Everyone, I'm telling you, anybody with a ordinance violation in Belleville or St. Clair County, the most egregious housing violation ever, subjecting his entire family, Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, subjecting his entire family, do you hear me? His entire family to death. No ingress, no egress to any, you hear me, people, any of the rooms in his palatial estate that was once used as a medical clinic. It still has the MD clinic on the front of his house. You guys got to, People didn't believe it. I've got people up here now, and they said, Bob, I heard you talk about it, but until I came by here, I can't believe it. They're taking pictures. I think there's going to be some complaints made to the state. And Kern, I'm right in front of your house, you rotten bastard. I'm going to bring the game to you because you no good son of a bitches won't come to me. But anyway, guys, stop on by. We'll get some autographed pictures. Listen, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to go crazy. Hell, I should have put my bikini on like Kern has because it's hot as hell. Of course, I would have scared off everybody, but I see Sweet Cakes has got that picture with his bikini, but don't look like there's a lot of junk in his trunk, if you know what I mean. I think he's a little sawed-off son of a bitch in more ways than one. But on this date, June the 8th, 4:50. Hey, sir, hey, thank you very much, sir. On this date, June the 8th, 452 A.D., Italy was invaded by Attila the Hun. On this date, June the 8th, 632 A.D., Muhammad, prophet and founder of Islam, died. On this date, June the 8th, 1786, the first commercially made ice cream was sold in New York City. Great date. On this date, June the 8th, 1856, Children's Day was first observed. On this date, June the 8th, 1896, the first car was stolen. Oh, here's a good one. On this day, June the 8th, 1869, the vacuum cleaner was patented by Ives McGaffey of Chicago, Illinois. He called it the sucking machine. Hey, did he name that after Mark Sweet Cakes, Kern? This lousy bastard. He parked all of his cars in front of his house, knowing we were coming because they all listened. He didn't get one spot, and they pulled out, and we got the spot. So people, come by and see where Kern allegedly lives. On this date, June the 8th, 1912, Universal Studios were founded. On this date, June the 8th, 1936, the first parking meters were invented. And by the way, Kern's got all of his cars out here. He's got 4 and 5 hours on the parking meters. He tried to stop us from broadcasting in front of his house, but just like his run as St. Clair County Board Chairman, he's failed again. On this date, June the 8th, 1963, the American Heart Association became the first voluntary public agency to sponsor a drive against cigarette smoking. That's what happened on this date, June the 8th, throughout all these years in our world's history. Hey, we talked yesterday about Muhammad Ali, and you guys know, black and white, from being a race. But I'll tell you, I'm sort of we both got bad hair, and he's got more money than I do. But I'm kind of like Trump. I don't mind all immigrants coming to this great country, but you got to come the right way. You got to come the way our forefathers came. You got to come the way our grandparents and some of our parents came. And now he's talking about this Hispanic judge. And you notice one of the stations will say he's doing it the right way. The other stations say he's doing it the wrong way. And Trump's far from being perfect. They're all far from being perfect. I'm far from being perfect. But when Trump says that he feels personally that he's not going to get a fair shake from this Hispanic judge because he's talking about the wall, I just think he's being honest. I don't think I or you would get a fair shake. Think about it. Put yourself in that position. You're on national television. You're telling everybody, hey, I want to put a wall up. I want to keep the illegal. Thank you. I want to keep the illegal Hispanics, not the legal ones. There's a lot of great Hispanic people. I want to keep the illegal ones, the murders, the killers, and that's what Mexico does. They let all their most egregious criminals go, and they say, go into America. We all know that's happening in California, people getting raped, getting killed. I don't blame Trump. And for Trump to say he didn't think he was going to get a fair shake, I don't think that was racial. I think that was heartfelt. I don't think it's figure this out, people. You've got a black judge, and you're a member of the Ku Klux Klan, and you march and you burn crosses, and they know you're a proud member of the Ku Klux Klan, and you've got a big case coming up in court, and there's a black judge. Wouldn't you feel like you might not, you hear me, feel like you might not get a fair shake? That's just human nature. But they're trying to make it out, oh, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. He's not a racist. You know, we all say things in the course of our life that we wish we hadn't said, both black and white. I've got mad before down the road, not proud of it. I've used the N-word, and I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of my black friends have used the C. Why do we call it the C word? Let's go a cracker or an H word, honky. But, you know, the words mean nothing. When you get pissed, you know what? You know why I say that? How many times have you been pissed off at your family, your son, your daughter, your mother, your wife? You're probably pissed off at your wife all the time because she makes you do right. And you say something you wish you hadn't have said. That doesn't mean you hate your family. That just means that we're ignorant son of a bitches sometime, and we say things that we shouldn't say. Now, nobody else will address that because it's not politically correct. I addressed everything that's not politically correct because I'm politically insane. I tell you, all of us has made a racial mistake. Said something we wish we hadn't have said something we wish we could have taken back from either a white man or a black man. And anybody says any difference, a damn liar. I used to hear Sprague and Kern and Barra Civic. If I had a nickel for every time I heard the N-word in political meetings, and I've been in with all of them. I've been in with all of them years past. I've been in this game 50 years. I know where a whole lot of skeletons are buried. Francis Touche give me dossiers on everybody. And he gave me a great education on politics in St. Clair County. And that's why I thought, I got to get out of this because I'm bad enough. I'm a little low life. I said, I don't want to be any more low life than I am. And if I'd have stayed with the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, the St. Clair County Culture of Corruption, I would have been lower than I am, and I don't know if that's possible. Hey, we're here, people driving by, honking, waving, thumbs up. We're here at 111 South High Street in downtown Belleville. Please stop by. Look at where Kern lives, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. These guys do what they want, when they want, get away with what they want. And I got to say, Kern, Sprague, and Kern's behind a lot of this. Sprague, there's 10,000 people. Now listen to me. Charlie Powell, Alonzo Greenwood, why aren't you, and Curtis McCall, why aren't you denouncing Bob Sprague? Do you people understand that he's representing Monsanto? There's over 10,000 cases where people may have cancer down in East St. Louis, Cahokia, Centerville, Allerton, Washington Park. And you know who's fighting to make sure they don't get a penny for medical expenses? Bob Sprague. He's an attorney fighting to defend Monsanto. This is the same Bob Sprague that takes $200,000 or $300,000 from the good people of Cahokia, that takes $200,000 or $300,000 from the good people of Centerville Township. Garrett Harner the same way. Alonzo Greenwood. Charlie Powell. They tell me Charlie Powell and some other people's wives have cancer. And you're feeding Garrett Harner and Bob Sprague, and then they're trying to take money out of your family's pockets so you guys can pay for medical bills to fight the egregious disease, cancer? You guys need to denounce Sprague. You need to denounce Garrett Harner. You need to denounce Mark Sweetcakes Kern. You guys below the hill, you're proud guys. Don't let these son of a bitches make you plantation Negroes. Get off the plantation. And anybody says any different, I'll prove it. You can go to the court files. Over 10,000 people in East St. Louis could possibly have cancer. So they're suing Monsanto, Cyril, Copper, and Brass. And you know who the hell is defending Monsanto and Cyril Copper? Your buddy, Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal Sprague. I'm demanding for the proud black community that Greenwood, Charlie Powell, Alvin Parks, Curtis McCall Sr., Curtis McCall Jr., you fire those two white, ignorant son of a bitches. Sometime I'm ashamed to be white. They're taking all the money from the taxpayers of East St. Louis, of Cahokia, of Centerville Township, of School District 189. They're taking all your hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then when your family gets cancer because of the toxic waste and all the PCPs and CBPs and whatever those chemicals are, those cancerous chemicals that come out of Soje, when the good people below the hill try to get money for medical expenses, that same Bob Sprague, that same Kern, that same Barra Civic, Garrett Harner, these guys are stopping you and your families from getting proper medical treatment. And you think they give a damn about you? They give a damn less. And you know it's right. And if it's not right, give me a call. Sprague, Kern, Barra Civic, 1 toll free. 888-394-1430 on the east side, 394-1190. They won't call. They won't confront me because I always tell you the facts. And as I always say, they cannot defend themselves because they have nothing to defend. But Curtis McCall, the proud people of Centerville Township, need to demand that you get rid of Sprague. He's done cost you guys $1 million in Cahokia, letting you guys, and it's not your guys' fault. It was a political move on the Curtis McCall team. Sprague should have told them right up front, you can't do that. But you know what he did? He let them do it, fire them illegally. And you know who he fired? Hardworking union members that always support the democratic culture of corruption in St. Clair County. I don't think it's going to happen this time, guys. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think the proud Democrats, the proud Republicans, men, women, black and white, I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to vote the culture of corruption out because they finally understand what's going on. They finally understand that this corruption after 50 years, it's not going to change. They can tell you they're working for the working class. They're full of crap. They're working to put money in their pocket. I don't have to tell, even the people that don't like me, I don't have to tell you that. I may be disliked, but these guys are hated. I try to give back. I never take. I've always given back. These guys been eating at the political trough. Our taxpayers' money's troughed for 10, 20, 30. Barra Civic over 35 years, and he wants more. Thank you, guys. Over 35 years, and he wants more. Isn't it something, people? When are we going to get together? We don't have to like. You think every Marine, every Army, every sailor, when they were in a war, that they loved each other? No. But when the war started, they all joined together to destroy our enemy. And that's what we have to do. Men, women, black, white, Democrats, Republicans. We have to join together to destroy this corruption, because if we don't, they're going to destroy us. And I'm not being melodramatic. It's coming, people. We can take back our county November the 8th of 2016. And you've heard me before. We're not politicians. We're the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We're not really Republicans. We just had to get on the Republican ticket, number one, because we couldn't get on the Democratic ticket because, like the Democratic Convention, they've got everything fixed. And the second reason is we didn't want to be there. And we have the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We're a patriotic movement. We're inviting men, women, black, white, Democrats, and Republicans. We don't give a damn what race you are, what gender you are, what political persuasion you are. We give a damn about you people. It hasn't happened in 50 years. But the movement, this patriotic movement, is going forward. We're going to be out in the street. We couldn't get anybody to run on. So the Freedom Coalition stood up. We're going to spend a lot of money. And I'm not going to take anything in return. I want to give back. I'm an old guy. I want to give back. I want to make a difference. If I make a friend along the way, you hear me, fine. But I want to make a difference before I go. In memory of my son now, and I'm going to make a hell of a difference, people. And they're going to remember me, and they're going to remember my son. And you know who else they're going to remember? They're going to remember these asswipe bastards like we remember Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein. That's how they're going to be remembered. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, your guardian of the First Amendment as always, and we are always very, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio at its finest, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. I was talking about Trump earlier, and I just got some information. They said they found out now that the judge supports a group a left-wing group that also supports Hillary Clinton. So I really don't think, and I'm not trying to defend Trump, I'm trying to defend the principle that we have every right to think like we think. You know, if I don't like somebody, I don't have to like them. If they're black and I don't like them, maybe I just don't like them. It's not a racial thing. I get a lot more whites I don't like, asswipe son of a bitches like Kern, Sprague, Barasivic, and I'm white. So it has nothing to do with race. But on the same hand, you know, the Republicans are just as bad as the Democrats. They eat their own. Here's this Kirk, Senator Kirk from Illinois, who will not get my vote. I'll abstain from voting for that ignorant son of a bitch. He says that Kirk denounces Trump. Now, who are you going to be for, you idiot? You're a U.S. Senator, a Republican out of Illinois. Now, Trump ain't perfect, but you're denouncing him like this asswipe, this Doug Jamieson, the St. Clair County Republican chairman, censored me. This is a son of a bitch that's been charged with spousal abuse, been charged with not paying $100,000 of child support, and that pisses me off. I don't care. Well, I do care. You know, I never hit a woman, but you definitely take care of your kids. It don't take a man to make a kid. It takes a man to support a kid, to love a kid, to nurture the kid. But anyway, this asswipe with Bar Viviano and Mary Turman and John West, these asswipes out of O'Fallon. And again, not the good O'Fallon people, not the good Democrats and Republicans, the 4 or 5 asswipe bastards. They denounced all of us, saying we're no good. But hell, probably I'm no good, but I'm better than my opposition. Not a whole lot, maybe. But I won't go up there and bobblehead for anybody. But now you've got the United States Senator, the Republican out of Illinois. That's why these Republicans never get anything in St. Clair County. Now they got nothing left because they fight each other. But Kirk, U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, says what Trump said was un-American. Now, what do you mean un-American, you stupid son of a bitch? That's the most American thing you can do, is express your opinion and not have everybody agree with it. See, you're an asswipe Republican, you stupid son of a bitch, because you don't agree with Trump. You don't agree with what Trump says. You say he's un-American. No, you're un-American because you want to take that man's rights away. Maybe Trump is wrong in what he says, but he has every right. You want to be pissed off at somebody, Kirk, and you people have heard me before. Go over and cuss out the brave military heroes at Jefferson Barracks Memorial Cemetery. Go over at any national cemetery and stand on one of those graves and cuss those people out, because those people are the one that died and fought and they stayed away from their families, got their arms shot off, their legs shot off. A lot of them did die. To give me the right to think the way I wanted to think, to speak the way I wanted to speak. And you asswipe son of a bitch, U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, and he is a Republican, and I'm running on a Republican. Well, actually, they censored me too, so I'm kind of a real independent. But you people understand? I had a lady one time when we first started the shows years back. She agreed with everything. She agreed to First Amendment rights. She agreed, but she says you got to get rid of Bob Romanik because I don't like the way he talks. But she's going to agree that First Amendment is great, freedom of speech, as long as the speech that she is hearing is the same speech that she would talk about. That's not what America's built on, people. But for Mark Kirk, Senator from Illinois, United States Senator, to say that Trump is un-American and he cannot support the GOP's presumptive presidential nominee, who you going to support, Kirk? If you vote for Hillary, then you're a Democrat. If you don't vote for anybody, you've cost Trump a vote. But these guys all want to play party lines. That's the problem, people. That's a problem for these organized politicians, both Democrats and Republicans. It's come to the point where people don't want to be part of the Democratic organization. They don't want to be part of the Republican organization. They want to be what they are, independent, hardworking, free-thinking people. And that's why a lot of independent candidates are going to win in November of 2016. That's why the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition is going to destroy this culture of corruption in St. Clair County. Because people anymore, they don't give a damn if you're a Democrat. They don't give a damn if you're a Republican. You hear what we always say, vote the person, not the party. But it pisses me off, and they're saying denounce that. And then here we got the other idiot, Barasivic, C.J. Barasivic. What an idiot. He's a young attorney. Not even wet behind the ears, but see, he's qualified because Daddy, John, Chief Judge John, read on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle, Civic. He's controlled this county with Sprague and Kern for so many years. It's not a family business, C.J. Civic. And Civic is saying Bost should denounce Trump. Now, people, do you understand my philosophy? Maybe I think Trump's wrong. I don't think he's wrong because I think he had every right to say he didn't think he was going to get a fair hearing. But that's just my take. And thank you. And I'm an American, and I got every right to think I want. But now for Civic said Bost should denounce Trump. Hey, Civic, you no good son of a bitch. You didn't denounce everybody, all the corruption at the courthouse. You didn't denounce your daddy. Who the hell are you, you no good little sawed-off son of a bitch, to say anybody should denounce anything? See how hypocritical these people are? Now I got you thinking, don't I? Here's C.J. Civic, son of Chief Judge John Red on the Noodle, like a pecker on a poodle, Civic. He's saying Trump said something wrong. You should denounce him. You shouldn't vote for him. I would rather Trump say crap all day long wrong than do something wrong like your daddy does, Civic. Are you crazy? Do you see people? Hey, go get that guy shoplifted. Well, Romanik, you done killed, hypothetically, of course, you've done killed 5 of your enemies. Yeah, but that guy's worse than I am. How can C.J. Civic, how can this idiot, this stupid, low-life bottom feeder, and I like that term bottom feeder because that's what they call me, and, lobsters feed on the bottom, and they're pretty expensive. But this little son of a bitch don't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He's demanding that Congressman Bost denounce Trump for what he said. Well, I'm saying to you and Congressman Bost, you got to get off your ass too. You need to get in the paper, Congressman Bost, and say Civic ought to denounce his dad, ought to denounce the whole Democratic culture of corruption in St. Clair County, because what Trump said doesn't trump what the St. Clair County culture of corruption has done for the last 50 years. But see, they want to throw a stink bomb in the other direction and blame it on somebody else. But do you guys understand? C.J. Civic running for Congress and Congressman Bost, you guys need to all get off your ass and fight the fight. It says Congressman Bost should immediately condemn this attack and rescind his support for Donald Trump for president. And Civic, shame on Mike Bost if he doesn't deplore Donald Trump's racist statement and continue to support Donald Trump. Well, you asswipe son of a bitch, you're supporting your daddy, you're supporting Kern, you're supporting Sprague, you're supporting the entire St. Clair County culture of corruption for what they've done, and you want to chastise a man for what he said? But do you see how that crap goes? They want to chastise you for what you say, but they don't want to be chastised for what they do. How hypocritical, and that pisses me off more than anything, people. You think about it after my show. How hypocritical can these St. Clair County Democratic idiots, these asswipes, be? They're asking Congressman Bost to denounce Trump for what Trump has said, not what he's done. But you don't hear Civic denouncing the candidate for Congress. You don't hear him denouncing the culture of corruption, the Democratic culture of corruption in St. Clair County, do you? No, that's because he's an asswipe, hypocritical son of a bitch. Think about it. We're mad at somebody for, hey, you cussed me out. I'm really mad at you. Well, somebody's stealing your television and stealing your car. Well, that's okay. I'm mad at this guy for what he said. I'm not mad at these guys for what they do. And that's what's wrong, people. You've been listening to me for the last 5 or 6 years. I have educated you people. You people know, and that's just not St. Clair County. This crap goes on in Jefferson County, Missouri, St. Charles County, Washington County, Monroe County, Madison County for sure. It's the same game with the same rules, just different players. But to make a statement like that, Civic, says Governor Rauner picked up GOP seats, also said he's disgusted by the remarks. Well, Governor, I understand that. I understand, but you don't think, and I don't want to get on your bad side, but I don't really give a damn. Do you think people aren't disgusted a little bit about what you're doing? You don't think they're disgusted about what the Democrats are doing, what Madigan's doing? You don't think everybody in St. Clair County, men, women, black, white, Democrats, Republicans, you don't think they're disgusted at the whole political process, both Democrats and Republicans? There's enough to go around. There's enough blame to go around. You don't think they're disgusted in you people? And you guys are going to sit there and you're going to say how disgusting you are, Trump is? Rauner, you're going to say how disgusting what Trump said? Again, Trump's not stopping the Illinois from having a budget. Trump's not stopping the good people from Illinois from getting all these services. You are. You are, Governor. You are House Speaker Madigan, Democrat and Republican. Again, there's enough blame to go around. But these hypocritical, no good son of a bitches, they're all over Bost. Congressman Bost, you need to make a statement, buddy. And I'm supporting you. I think you'll do a good job. But everybody needs to start fighting for what they believe in. Here's Barra Civic. Gonna denounce Bost, Congressman Bost, because he's not chastising Trump for what he said. Congressman Bost, I'd like to see an article in the paper tomorrow. And I'm not trying to give you hell. You need an article in the paper tomorrow. Have Barra Civic denounce the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. I'll stand right next to you. I know I'm not your favorite person. I know we've had differences in the past. But we're men, Congressman. We need to work together for the betterment of the congressional district that you represent. We need to work so we can better the 114th legislative district that I hope to go to Springfield and represent. We had to put our personal differences beside. But when these guys are this hypocritical, and think about it. Rauner's talking about Trump, disgusted. Barra Civic saying Bost should denounce Trump for what he said. Barra Civic's not denouncing his party for all the corruption in St. Clair County. Rauner is not chastising himself for not being able to put a budget together. And I don't totally blame Governor Rauner. I blame Madigan and the Democratic-controlled Senate and House. But don't be casting a bad light on what somebody says until you cast a bad light on what somebody does. And you guys have done wrong. Governor Rauner, you've done wrong. Barra Civic, Sprague, Kern, you guys have done wrong. I'm going to be the first to denounce you guys. How's that? And I've been denouncing you for the last 6 years. And you people out there, even you strong Democrats, you good union people. There's no union shop at the courthouse. Stone, you supported him, the coroner. He finally got his old ass out. He used non-union labor. And that's his right to do so. But then the unions get behind him. They get behind Sprague. They get behind Kern. There's no union shop at the courthouse. You know why? They don't want people to prosper that work at the courthouse. They want to be able to control them. And you can't control them if they're in unions. But I'll tell you what. At the end of the day, Congressman Bost, I hope you come out strong and denounce Barra Civic. Because if you don't, Congressman, then if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what goes on. Hey, we're going to come back. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we've got, I want to talk about Caseyville for a minute. And anybody got any questions, concerns, you can give me a call. Toll free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. This is your daddy that's circumventing our great Constitution, our great state of Illinois Constitution, because he knows he can't get 60% of the vote. But he says, no, he didn't want that because he wants to come out. It will allow him to speak out about issues. Hey, you mush-mouth son of a bitch. I saw you Saturday, saw you Sunday. You didn't say a word to anybody. You don't want to speak out on anything because you know everything you say is going to be a lie. You just knew, and that was your first lie, and you started with it, that there's no way the people of the 20th Judicial Circuit would vote and give you 60%. There's no way in hell, Barra Civic. So, CJ, denounce your dad, denounce Kern, denounce Sprague for the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. Then after you do that, then you can go to Congressman Bost and ask for him to denounce. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM. America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM. America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Hey, I just saw this, and I wanted to sincerely apologize to Congressman Bost, because I do see here, he said, maybe I should ask my opponent, this is the congressman speaking, if he wants to support a socialist or a person who wants to close every coal mine in Illinois. Bost said, referring to Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. If my opponent wants to play guilt by association, then he should take responsibility for Hillary Clinton's promise to put Southern Illinois coal miners out of work. And also, Congressman, don't forget about all the email scandal, the Benghazi scandal, and every other scandal. You're right, Congressman. I'll apologize. I didn't see this. Congressman has stepped up to the plate. He stepped up and did what's supposed to be done. Barasivic, you hypocritical son of a bitch. C.J. Barasivic, well, your dad's more hypocritical than you ever thought about being. Think about this, people. I'm going to give you a little reminder before we leave about how big a hypocrites these son of a bitches are. C.J. Barasivic wants Bost, Congressman Bost, to denounce Trump for what he said. Okay, you understand what Trump said, and you understand that Barasivic is all appalled by racism. He's all appalled by racism. Congressman Bost should immediately condemn this attack and rescind his support for Donald Trump. Now, do you understand that? This is a despicable, racist attack on the judge and has no place in our country. This is C.J. Barasivic. This little asswipe, wet behind the ears, no good son of a bitch and son of John Red on the Noodle like a pecker on a poodle, Barasivic. You understand his premise? But what about this, C.J. Barasivic? Are you going to denounce your dad, the biggest racist in St. Clair County? Thank you. Are you going to denounce your dad, the biggest racist, in my opinion, in St. Clair County? Because you remember a few years back when a proud black man, Elliot Davis, approached your dad at the St. Clair County courthouse, and he asked your dad a few hard-hitting questions, in which that's what a reporter does. Elliot Davis, a proud black man, very professional newscaster, news reporter, asked your dad a couple questions that we all wanted to know about the corruption at the courthouse at St. Clair County. You know what, Barasivic, he got all red in the face. That's why they call him Red in the Noodle, like a pecker on a poodle. And you remember this, and we're going to play it on our Facebook, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. He said, "Get out of my face, Rufus." Remember that? He had talked to Elliot Davis on how many occasions? And he used such a racial term. Get out of my face, Rufus. And now, John Barasivic, you really taught your son well to be a hypocrite. C.J. Barasivic, I'm demanding, you're demanding, I'm going to demand that you denounce your father. I don't think he was much of a father. Don't think he was much of a father. Sure, not much of a politician, and definitely not much of a public servant. Never was he a public servant. But again, people, do you see how hypocritical? C.J. Barasivic running for Congress, that's an insult. That's an insult. Demanding that Congressman Bost denounce Trump for what he said. Whenever Barasivic, his dad, called a proud black man Rufus. Nothing more racial than that. Nothing more racist than that. But these hypocritical bastards, the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, the St. Clair County Democratic Culture of Corruption, they always tell you, do as I say, not as I do. But it's unbelievable. Unbelievable, the hypocrisy Remember that, people. John Barasiewicz. Hey, Rufus, because he was mad because a proud black reporter put him on the spot. But now C.J. Barasiewicz wants Boss to denounce Trump for something that he said. He's involved in this case. He wants a fair shake. Maybe he didn't premise it right. Maybe he didn't say it right. But I understand what he's trying to say. But Barasiewicz, you weren't going before Elliot Davis. You weren't worried about getting a fair shake. You were worried about not answering a question. You were worried about being the racist that you are. See, he was mad, people, and it shined through. But he don't even like white people. Barasiewicz don't like anybody. But a few asswipe of his friends, Sprague, Kern, you know they all hang together. These son of a bitches have been around too long, people. This hypocrisy, this corruption in St. Clair County's got to go. And you're going to hear me day in and day out until November the 8th, and then after November the 8th. But think about it, people. I may not be the best candidate, but I will fight for you. The candidates that are running against these asswipe culture of corruption, they are good candidates. Don't hold them in the same accord that you may hold me, because I'm not perfect. I'm not the best guy in town. But I tell you, I'll be the best warrior you ever had in Springfield, because I'm going to fight those son of a bitches, Democrats and Republicans, like I fight these bastards down here. Somebody has to be the voice for the vast majority, the vast silent majority. And Bob Romanik promises you, you've got my word, that Bob Romanik will be your voice. It might not be a voice that talks properly all the time. Maybe a voice that maybe slings a few curse words, but it'll be a voice that'll be heard in Springfield. It'll be a voice that'll be heard maybe in Washington, D.C., because I'm not going to stop talking. I'm not going to stop fighting until tell the people of my district, the people of St. Clair County, the people of the state of Illinois, and the people of this great United States of America get a fair shake. Until then, the fight's on. Last thing I want to say again, and I mean this sincerely, you know, you can come after me, I'll come after you, but let's leave our families out, unless you put them up in the ring. But I got to say, guys, I never did like you. I never respected you. But at this point, I've seen, and the people of St. Clair County, the people who listen, have seen how egregious, how rotten you son of a bitches are to come after a dead man. But you guys remember that. And people, you remember it. When you see Bob Romanik going crazy, politically of course, when you see him broadcasting from somebody's house, when you see him doing things to expose all these bastards, don't ask. Don't ask why is he doing it. Because I'm doing it for my son. I'm doing it for your family. I'm doing it for everybody that's been screwed, that's been harassed, that's been taken advantage of by the St. Clair County Democratic culture corruption. I'm doing that for us. So let's continue, people. Let's continue to work together, to unite. Democrats, Republicans, men, women, black and white. We can all unite, and we can stop this cancerous movement that's called the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee. Let's stop them November the 8th, once and for all. Together we can do that. So let's join forces. Don't have to like each other. Don't have to love each other. Let's just respect each other in the fight that we're facing. So let's continue to expose these rotten, no-count, political scumbag son of a bitches, cockroach-sucking bastards. Let's drag them over the political coals of hell. And when it's all said and done, you know what you got to do in any war, political or otherwise. You have to destroy the enemy, and we will, together, we will destroy the enemy. Politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.